Top Gun, surely the movie of this year. Well, watch to the end of this video as I create some of the sound effects and voiceovers from the movie, and let me know in the comments which is your favorite. Okay, let's hop in. I've got Adobe Audition on my screen and I'm ready to record. Now, later on, we'll have a look at some of these beautiful sound effects I recorded just around the house. That's how easy it is to make the sound effects. But first of all, I'm going to go ahead and start a brand new audio file here. I'm going to call this VO, and I'm generally just going to do a plain voiceover saying some of Mr. Cruise's favorite lines from the movie, like, "Good morning, aviators. This is your captain speaking." Oh, no, I probably can't do it in a British accent, can I? "Good morning, aviators. This is your captain speaking." Was that good? Let's try one more time. "Good morning, aviators. This is your captain speaking." Do I sound more Australian? I don't know. "No turning back now." Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. So we got enough there, haven't we? Let's take this. "Good morning, aviators. This is your captain speaking." Let's take that and let's just chop out everything we don't need. So we've got this. "No turning back now." And we've got, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Perfect voiceover to work on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use favorites, and I'm going to normalize this to 0.1, and that could probably do with a little bit more. And what I'm essentially doing is just making this all a little bit louder so we can hear this nice and clearly. And I'm going to apply all the voice effects right here in the waveform view. Obviously, I've got lovely spectral open. This helps me when I'm working with sound effects. I might close it for now, Shift and D to close, or this icon up here. And now I can really work away on the Tom Cruise stuff. So what's going on in Top Gun? What exactly is happening with Tom Cruise's voice? Well, one of the major elements is that there is a bit of a roll-off in the low end of the voice. So a lot of the bass has gone to get that kind of airline pilot sound. And that's really easy to do in software like Adobe Audition. You simply go ahead. I'm going to use this effects rack so I can jiggle these effects around as I need. And we'd go into filter and EQ and we'd roll off the low end. Super simple way to do this is actually to pull in a scientific filter like that. And if you look at the presets, there's a really good one here called drop off below 250 Hertz. So let's listen to it with it on. "Good morning, aviators. This is your captain speaking." And then let's take that effect off. "Good morning, aviators. This is your captain speaking." So notice in the first line there, I sound more full, more rich, more studio recorded if you like. And then in the second version, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. There you go. That's applied, and this is without. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. So I'm going to add that in straight away and leave that there. What I'll also do is add a little bit of compression, because what tends to happen when airline pilots are up in the air, they're using these microphones, they're close to their mouth, and their voice is very loud. And it has to be loud. It can't have loads of dynamics, loads of peaks and troughs, because otherwise pilots wouldn't be able to be heard over all the other machinery going on. So I will go ahead and I will go to amplitude and compression dynamics, and I'm going to add a very basic compressor here. So we'll leave the threshold where it is. We'll crank the ratio right up, maybe an extreme of 5 there. We'll pull the tack and release down so it works really hard on the voice. And if we look at the preview mode now, you can see how that voice has been compressed in the second one. Let's turn the makeup gain up so we still got quite a loud voice. There we go, a little bit more I think, and play from the start. "Good morning, aviators. This is your captain speaking." It's sounding really good. "No turning back now." Okay, so we're getting there, and there's just one final element I'm going to introduce, and it's very, very subtle. You might notice this if you've watched the movie or seen the trailer or whatever, is that there's some kind of just airline kind of distortion, light level distortion, nothing too intense. And we're going to put this on. We're going to put it on as the third effect here, but it may be that I need to jiggle that up to be in the first effect slot. It might be more effective there. I'll explain a bit about that if I go ahead and do that. So again, to do this in Audition, I'm just going to special, because it's a special effect, and I'm looking for distortion here. I'm looking for the right kind of distortion. Now I can jiggle these lines around to make distortion. There's some epic presets as well. Green Room Angus, that's probably going to be too loud. We might need to open the dynamics and just whack down the makeup, because he's too loud, that pilot now. I think this is going to be probably too much. "Good morning, aviators." Yeah, it's not too bad, actually. Infinite distortion we definitely don't want. That just looks like ruined. I'm not even going to play that. It'll hurt your ears. This one's quite good. "Good morning." No, that's probably too much. So far, I like the Green Room. Maximum Pain, we'll avoid that. Oh, pick Scarpa. That looks good. "Good morning." No, that's too much. "Good morning." too much there again. Snakeskin.
Good morning, aviators. This is your captain speaking.
Ooh, this is good. Snakeskin and Green Room.
Good morning, aviators. This is your captain speaking.
Now, even though that's a lot louder, and I can actually turn down the output dial here, that's actually sounding better.
Good morning, aviators. This is your captain speaking.
So I would say that's pretty much done now.
No turning back now. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so that's great. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply this, and we're going to save this as VOFX. So we know we've got that. I'll also undo that and save the version without all the effects. So we'll go ahead. Actually, we'll save this as a custom rack, and I'll tell you why. So we'll call this Top Gun, and I will now just get rid of those for the moment, and I'm going to save this as a plain VO file. Which actually, that was not my intention. Applying the effects, saving it, and then undoing. Let's do that. Right, and get rid of these effects now, default. And we'll save this as just VO. That's what I meant to do as well. So we've got the clean file. I will go into multitrack. I'm going to use multitrack maybe for some of the sound effects as well. And we'll use just a default template here. I'm going to bring the voiceover in like this. I'm going to apply to track 1 the Top Gun. There it is, Top Gun effects.
Good morning, aviators.
But instead of using the distortion here, I'm actually going to take it and I'm going to do something quite clever here. I'm going to send this to a bus track. So a mono bus track here. So I'm actually sending the output of this to the bus track, and I can choose how much of this audio I send, because on the bus track, I can add the distortion, which gives me a little control as to how much distortion I have. So this is more of a pro tip. Special, distortion, and I might go for that more aggressive snakeskin one.
Good morning, aviators. This is your captain speaking.
Now notice there's no distortion.
Good morning, aviators. This is your captain speaking.
Now it is sending to bus A here. Let's just call this Distort Top Gun, like that. But I can control how much distortion I have by turning this volume knob up here. See, it's at nothing at the moment. So if I turn that up, you'll actually hear, let's actually zoom right in on this. Shift E to get rid of unused tracks. Control or Command / to zoom right in.
Good morning, aviators.
Now let's turn this up.
Good morning, aviators. This is your captain speaking.
So you see, I can finally control now using this volume dial how much distortion we get.
Good morning, aviators. This is your captain speaking. Good morning, aviators. This is your captain speaking.
Yeah, and I think around there we're in a good place, so I might mix that down and actually save that entire session, and we'll call this one, that's a weird bit of distortion there. That's like a little crackly click. Anyway, let's save that, and we'll save that as VO Top Gun Multi, to indicate that it's the multi-track. And we'll put that in my downloads folder. That's done. Okay, fantastic. Now we'll get on to some sound effects, and I had some fun with a vacuum cleaner. Let's look at spectral frequency here. Shift D to open that up. Look at the frequencies, and actually it might be a good idea for me to drag in the video as I was recording a vacuum. Our vacuum on a Rode Wireless Go, you can see there's the Rode Wireless Go. I actually held it up to the vacuum on the second tape because I got a better piece of audio there. But here on the first piece of audio, I actually started the vacuum up like so. It's only coming from the left-hand side, by the way, you might notice. And then I cycle through to go further. But what I can actually do, now we kind of know what's going on there with the video, pull it right back down, and I love this kind of like that. So we could kind of create a jet engine or something like that. I'm just going to mute out the right. I'm going to take this left, and I'm going to take some of that, copy it into its own audio file. We'll call this, what should we call this? Let's call this just, airplane. Let's do it. Paste it in, and we've got, that's nice. Okay, cool. Now what I can actually do, one of my favorite effects to introduce is time and pitch, the pitch bender. And now I can draw on the kind of sounds I want to go. So I can have something like that, and I can even that's probably a little too much. That's kind of like lowering the pitch there is definitely introducing that airplane sound. And then we'll bring it up at the end. That's good. And I'm going to do a real pitch down at the end as well. Nice. Okay, I'm feeling quite good about that. And now we'll simply drag this into multi-track to have a play with it. We can keep maybe my Tom Cruise style sounds, and we'll bring this into its own track here. So we're going to bring in this and place that. Actually, we didn't need the video version, do we? All we need is my copied vacuum. Where is that? That's there, the airplane. Okay, let's grab this, fade this in here, and sort of play it back. Might be a bit loud, so we'll turn it down a bit in the mix here.
Good morning, aviators. This is your captain.
Okay, and then on this track, I'm also going to add a little bit of reverb. Definitely reverb is needed. Studio reverb is good, and we can go for, let's go for the Great Hall. Let's try that
Good
first.
morning, aviators. This is your captain.
Okay, so that's sounding quite good. So let's actually move this voiceover along a bit.
Good morning, aviators. This is your captain speaking. No turning back now. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
There we go. Fantastic. And we can actually like cut that to size. So if I want, I can just cut that up a little bit.
In 3, 2.
Oh, that's probably not the best place to cut the effect. Let's cut it a little bit earlier, right there.
No turning back now. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
Nice. And then we've got like a nice ending there. I can fade that out. And the reverb will take care of the rest there. Can you hear how the reverb allows that to decay just a little bit further? Something else I did, I used a robot vacuum. Again, I can bring in the video to show you exactly what I was recording here. Again, with my trusty Rode Wireless Go 2. And we've got some beeps here on the vacuum as it like tries to let go of its cradle. And it clunks around trying to clean things up. So you can see that's what my robot vacuum was doing. But now I can actually go ahead and take some of this. Again, it's the left-hand channel only. So I'm going to copy some of this and maybe take some of that clunking and put this into robot missile launch or something like that. Let's just see what we can make of this. Paste it in here. There it is. So this is actually going to be good, and we can actually copy this multiple times and we can do some cool stuff with it. So let me go ahead and see. Let's copy it 3 times, and we might just go in, add in, again, time and pitch, the pitch bender. Again, only available in waveform. That's quite cool. Let's default it and let's do something. I'm going to make this a little spikier. So we could do like almost like laser guns. So that's a good one. And then we've got this. And then this one coming up. So let's apply that and use those, and you can see how it nicely shapes things out there. And then that, I don't know, maybe this could be an ejector seat or something like that. So let's go into effects and let's go into time and pitch, and we'll go to the pitch bender again. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply drag this up so it's like it's all going up, as it were, like so. And we'll take this and do that. Let's just see how that's going to sound. There we go. So that could work. That's quite nice. So that could be our little ejector seat. Let's just try that out. And we've also got this. And let's drag that all into multi-track. Again, exactly the place we're working from. And we're looking for here, the robot missile launch. Let's drag that onto the reverb track. Okay, so I'm going to drag this and cut this, and I'm actually going to layer this up a couple of times and maybe change the pitch. So let's create a couple of new tracks here and do pitch shifters on those tracks. So time and pitch shifter. Let's bring that one down a few semitones, and then we'll go time and pitch shifter, and we'll bring this one up a few semitones. And then maybe we'll also pan this as well. We'll pan this to the left, pan this to the right as well over here. Let's try that. Let's bring that down. There we go. And then we've got these like kind of laser effects that we'll use. So let's bring this in. there, and we've got... That's quite cool. And then we'll delete that and we'll just use this here. So we've got some kind of laser gun effects, if you like. And then what I'm thinking for that little ejector seat at the end is I'm going to bring in that clunking sound again, because that works quite well. Maybe pitch it a bit. So let's pitch it there and double it up. Down there. So that's cool. So what we've got here now is we've got Top Gun style voiceover. We've got like an airplane. We've got like all kinds of like mechanical beeps and stuff like that. We've got laser gun sounds. We've got ejector seats. Let's play everything in its duration.
Good morning, aviators. This is your captain speaking. No turning back now. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
That's pretty cool to start with then. And we've got these. And finally, the ejector seat. Fantastic! My goodness me. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't done so already, do be sure to click subscribe for more. If you've not done so already, check out musicradiocreative.com. This is where my team of 200 plus audio professionals can help you with voiceovers, radio jingles, DJ drops, podcast intros, music, ads, and much, much more. Until the next time, keep calm and produce on, my friends.
Thumbs up, subscribe for more. MusicRadioCreative.com